The truth will set you free, but first it will shatter every lie you've been living. My friends, listen closely because what I'm about to tell you might sting a little. For years, you've been told that love is about giving more, being nicer, being safer, being predictable. But that's the biggest scam you've ever believed. You think if you just become the perfect partner, if you just play it right, if you never upset them, they'll finally stay. Let me hit you with the truth. Love doesn't grow in comfort zones. Real love begins when you dare to break what isn't real. And that doesn't mean hurting them, it means breaking their walls, breaking their illusions, breaking the pattern that keeps both of you stuck in a boring, lifeless script. Hey folks, imagine this. You're standing in front of a castle. The gates are locked tight, the walls are tall, and you think the only way in is to be the polite guest who keeps knocking, waiting to be let in. But what if I told you that real connection happens when you stop begging at the gate and instead climb the wall with strength, with confidence, with unshakable presence? That's what people crave. Not someone who plays it safe, not someone who folds at the first sign of distance. They crave the one who dares to break through their walls, not with cruelty, but with power. You've been lied to. You've been told that pleasing them, chasing them, explaining yourself endlessly is the way to make them love you. But deep down, you already know it's not working. Because the more you chase, the faster they pull away. The more you explain, the less they respect you. The more you try to be everything, the more invisible you become. Folks, let me tell you something. A cage made of gold is still a cage. Playing safe might keep you from rejection, but it also keeps you from being truly seen, truly respected, truly loved. Real love, the kind that makes them crave you and never forget you, only happens when you're willing to disrupt their comfort, when you're not afraid to challenge their behavior, when you can stand firm even when they test you, even when silence feels unbearable, even when part of you wants to beg for validation. Life isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. And being real means you won't always be liked in the moment. But trust me, they will respect you, crave you, and love you far more when you stand your ground than when you hand over your soul just to be accepted. So today, we're going to break the lies you've been living under and build the version of you that can finally make them feel something real. Write this in the comments. I stand firm. Type it now. Show yourself, show the world. And if you're ready to rise above the noise, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because we're about to change everything. Number 1, stop being predictable. Disrupt their pattern. Comfort is the enemy of attraction, and predictability is the fastest way to kill desire. My friends, let's be real for a second. Most people think that if they just stay consistent, if they just keep showing up the same way every day, that somehow that will make someone love them more. But think about it. Have you ever been excited about a movie you already know every single line of? No. Have you ever felt your heart race for a game where you already know the outcome? Never. And yet so many folks live their relationships like a rerun. They play the same safe role every single time, hoping that being predictable will finally make someone stay. Imagine a fire. It doesn't burn bright because it's boring. It dances, it sparks, it surprises you. That's why you can't take your eyes off it. But most men become a candle, steady, safe, flickering the same exact way. At first, that feels nice. But over time, they become background light, something that's just there. And that's the truth no one tells you. When they already know your every move, when they can predict your reactions, when they know exactly how you'll respond to every situation, you stop being exciting. You stop being magnetic. You stop being the person that makes their heart race. Now you might be thinking, but isn't being consistent a good thing? Don't they want someone reliable? Yes, folks, they do. But don't confuse loyalty with predictability. Loyalty means they can trust your character. Predictability means they can predict your every move. And the second they can predict your every move, you stop being the mystery that drew them in the first place. Here's the lie you've been fed. If I stay safe and never rock the boat, they'll never leave. But what really happens is the opposite. You become so easy to read, so easy to control, that they start to pull away without even knowing why. Because deep down, people don't crave safety alone. They crave the thrill of not knowing what's coming next. Breaking this pattern isn't easy. It takes courage to stop being the yes man. It takes strength to throw in moments that surprise them, teasing them out of nowhere, doing something different just because you feel like it, saying no when you usually would have said yes. And here's why most folks don't do it. They're scared. They think, if I stop being predictable, what if they don't like it? What if I lose them? But think about this. If you must always be who they want, you'll never be who you are. Living in fear of rejection turns you into a puppet, not a man. And puppets don't inspire love, they inspire control. You've got to be the fire again, sometimes warm, sometimes intense, sometimes playful, sometimes serious. Stop handing over a script of who you'll always be. Show them that you are multidimensional, that you can make them laugh when they least expect it. Challenge them when they try to test you. Walk away from drama instead of feeding it, and then return with calm confidence as if nothing fazed you. That unpredictability makes them feel alive with you. Breaking out of predictability is like climbing a wall you've built for yourself. At first, it feels awkward, uncomfortable, even a little scary. You'll feel the urge to fall back into old habits, always responding the same way, always being the nice, safe guy. But every time you surprise them, every time you break your own pattern, you remind them that you're not a background character in their story. You're the storm that makes their world feel alive. So here's your affirmation for today. I am not predictable. I am a force they cannot control. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that you are no longer playing safe just to be liked. And stay with me, because next we're going even deeper into the power of holding frame, even when every part of you wants to fold. That's where true strength begins. Number 2, hold frame, even when it hurts. Strength isn't shown when it's easy to stand tall. It's proven when everything around you tries to break you and you refuse to bend. My friends, this is where most people fail. They think being strong means raising their voice, demanding respect, or trying to act tougher than they really are. But holding frame isn't about acting. It's about being so grounded in who you are that nothing they do, no test, no silence, no pullback, can shake you out of alignment. Picture a mountain in the middle of a raging storm. The wind screams, the rain pounds, lightning cracks the sky. But the mountain doesn't move. It doesn't react. It simply is. That is what true frame looks like in real life. Because let's be honest, folks, most people are addicted to reacting. They get a cold text back and they overthink. They feel distance and they start chasing. They sense someone pulling away and suddenly they're double texting, explaining themselves, begging to be understood. And every time you react like that, you prove you can be shaken. You prove that your sense of worth depends on how they treat you. You prove that you're not grounded. You're a leaf in the wind. Here's the ugly truth no one tells you. When you fold under pressure, you confirm every fear they already had about you, that you're not solid, that you can be moved like a pawn on their emotional chessboard. And once that happens, respect dies, attraction dies, because deep down they crave someone who can hold steady when they can't. Holding frame is hard because it feels unnatural at first. Silence feels heavy, space feels threatening, your ego screams, "Do something." But that's exactly why most people fail. They try to fix what doesn't need fixing. They chase after someone's approval instead of standing firm in their own worth. Think of a lion in the wild. Does he roar every time another animal walks by? Does he chase after every little thing to prove he's strong? No. His power is felt without constant reaction. That's the energy you need to carry. When they pull away, you don't chase. When they test you, you don't argue. When they act cold, you don't panic. You remain grounded. Because real strength isn't in loud reactions. It's in calm presence. And let me tell you something powerful. People are drawn to those who can hold frame when it hurts. This is how you break their pattern. You stop being the guy who always folds. You stop being predictable in your weakness. You show them that their moods don't control you, their silence doesn't control you, and their tests don't define you. That is when they start seeing you differently. It won't be easy. You'll feel the urge to explain yourself, to justify, to prove your worth. But every time you resist that urge, every time you stay silent when your old self would have begged, every time you keep walking forward instead of chasing, you become stronger. And that strength becomes magnetic. So here's your affirmation. I hold frame when it matters most. Write it in the comments, folks. Show yourself. Show the world around you. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about why pleasing them is the fastest way to lose their respect, and how challenging them is what actually makes them fall for you. Number 3, stop trying to please them, start challenging them. Respect isn't earned by bending over backward. It's earned by standing tall even when they expect you to fold. My friends, too many of you have been taught the same broken formula. If I'm nice enough, if I agree with everything, if I never say no, they'll finally love me. But let's be honest, has that ever really worked? You try harder, give more, sacrifice your own needs, and what happens? They start losing respect. They start taking you for granted. They might even pull away completely. Here's why. Love does not grow from endless pleasing. Love grows when there's challenge, when there's respect, when there's friction that sharpens both of you like steel against steel. A sword becomes sharp only through pressure and heat. Without that, it stays dull forever. The same goes for attraction. If you're always agreeable, always bending, always smoothing everything over, you become easy to control and easy to forget. Think about the people you admire most in your life. Are they the ones who always told you exactly what you wanted to hear? Or are they the ones who challenged you to rise, who pushed you out of your comfort zone, who made you level up? Deep down, people crave someone who makes them grow, not someone who validates every weakness they have. But here's the lie most folks live under. If I challenge them, they'll leave me. No, my friends. If you never challenge them, they'll never respect you. They might stay for a while because it's convenient, but they won't stay because they're in awe of you. And that's the difference between being chosen out of comfort and being chosen out of deep desire. You must be willing to be the person who can say no, the one who can call out bad behavior calmly, the one who can disagree without fear, the one who doesn't bend just to keep the peace. When you do that, you show strength, and strength is magnetic. Challenging them doesn't mean being cruel or picking fights. It means you hold them to a standard. It means you don't reward bad behavior with attention. It means you push back when something doesn't align with your values. And trust me, when you do that, two things happen. They might resist at first because they're not used to being challenged, but deep down, they start to respect you more. A relationship without challenge is like a gym without weights. It feels easy, but it never makes you stronger. And most people subconsciously test you to see if you're capable of leading. If you always give in, if you always say yes, if you always agree just to keep them happy, they realize you can't be that person. So here's what you need to do. Stop being afraid of their reaction. Stop thinking you'll lose them if you stand firm. Because if standing firm makes them leave, they were never truly yours to begin with. The one who truly values you will respect you more for having a spine. My friends, You can't nice guy your way into someone's heart. You earn respect by being real, not by being a doormat. And when they respect you, when they feel that strength, that's when love grows deeper than any amount of pleasing could ever create. Here's your affirmation. I challenge them to grow, and they respect me for it. Write it in the comments right now. Let the world see you stepping into your power. And stay with me, because next, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have: silence. Used right, it will completely shift the way they see you. Number 4, be silent when they expect you to beg. Power is never loud. It's felt most in the moments when you refuse to break the silence. My friends, this is the part that scares most people. They think silence means weakness, that if they don't rush in to explain themselves or fix things, they'll lose the person forever. But the truth is the exact opposite. Silence, when used with intention, is one of the most powerful tools you will ever have. Think about it. When they pull back, when they go cold, when they start acting distant, what do most people do? They panic. They start sending paragraphs of texts. They call. They beg for clarity. They explain why they've been busy. They throw away every bit of mystery, every ounce of strength, just to get some sort of reaction back. And every time you do that, you hand them your power on a silver platter. Silence is not passive. It is not weakness. It is strength under control. Imagine two fighters staring each other down before a match. The one who blinks first loses the psychological battle. Silence is that moment. It builds tension, it creates mystery, and it makes the other person feel your absence. When you're silent, you let them sit with the weight of their own choices. You show them you're not going to chase after validation. You let them feel what it's like to not have your constant reassurance. And trust me, folks, that tension will work in your favor, because people only realize the value of something when it's no longer being handed to them every second. But here's why silence is so hard. Your ego screams at you to do something. You convince yourself that if you don't reach out, you'll lose them forever. And that fear is exactly why most people fail to hold frame. They break the silence first because they can't sit with their own discomfort. You need to understand this. The person who can stay still while everyone else panics is the one who truly holds power. Think about a lion in the wild. He doesn't roar just to prove he's there. His presence is felt even in silence. That's how you need to carry yourself. When you stay silent, when you don't beg, when you don't rush to explain, you send a message louder than any words could ever say. I am not desperate. I am not afraid to lose you. I know my worth. That is attractive. That is magnetic. And yes, they will feel it. They will wonder why you're not chasing. They will question if they've lost you. They will start to feel that gap you've left behind. And that's when they start to reach out. The lie you've been told is that silence means they'll forget about you. But the truth is, if someone truly values you, silence makes them think about you even more. And if they don't care enough to notice your absence, then your silence just saved you from wasting more time on someone who never deserved you. So here's your affirmation for today. My silence speaks louder than words. Write it in the comments, folks. Show yourself, show the world that you will no longer chase validation. And stay with me, because next we're going to expose one of the most unattractive habits that kills respect faster than anything: over-explaining yourself. Once you drop that habit, everything changes. Number 5, stop explaining yourself. Make them feel your absence. Kings don't write essays to prove their worth. Their presence speaks louder than any words ever could. My friends, this one right here is where so many people destroy attraction without even realizing it. They think that if they just explain enough, if they give enough reasons, if they justify every little move they make, then somehow the other person will finally understand and stay. But here's the reality. Over-explaining is insecurity in disguise. It's a loud way of saying, please don't be upset with me. Please don't leave me. Please approve of me. Think about the last time you felt the need to justify yourself. Maybe you didn't reply to a text quickly enough, so you sent a whole paragraph explaining why. Maybe you couldn't meet up, so you gave a detailed play-by-play of everything you were doing. Maybe they seemed distant, so you tried to win them back with endless messages proving you still cared. And what happened? Did they respect you more? No, because every time you over-explain, you shrink your value. You make your time look cheap. You prove that you see them as more important than yourself. Here's the hard truth. People with high value don't justify their every move. They let their actions speak. They understand that if someone truly respects and values them, they won't need a 5-sentence explanation to understand why they were busy. A simple, "I've been busy," is enough. Imagine a king. Does he explain to every subject why he made a decision? No. He moves with certainty. His presence alone carries authority. That's the energy you need to bring into your relationships. When you over-explain, you send the message that you're afraid of losing them. You think if you don't give them a reason for everything, they'll walk away. But my friends, the opposite is true. The more you justify yourself, the more they subconsciously lose respect. Because respect is built on certainty, not desperation. Now, some of you might be thinking, but won't they think I don't care if I don't explain? No. The right person, the one who values you, will feel your effort in your presence, not your essays. If they constantly need you to justify every move you make, then they're not looking for love. They're looking for control. And let me tell you something powerful. Your absence is felt the most when you don't rush to fill every silence with excuses. When you give fewer words, the ones you do speak matter more. When you stop trying to prove yourself, they start wondering about you. They start thinking about you more. They start realizing that you are not someone who will hand over your dignity just to keep them happy. This is how you shift the power dynamic. You go from being the person who is always on trial, always trying to prove yourself, to being the one who lets their presence speak. And when you do this, they feel it. They respect you more. They realize you are not going to grovel for approval. Stop handing out explanations like candy. Start living like your time is valuable, because it is. So here's your affirmation. My actions speak. My worth is felt without explanation. Write it in the comments, my friends. Let the world know you are done begging to be understood. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about something that most people never get right, bringing emotional variety. When you learn to do this, you'll stop being the safe, boring option and start being the one they can't stop thinking about. Number 6. Give them emotional variety. Keep them on their toes. Consistency builds trust, but predictability kills desire. My friends, listen carefully, because this is where so many people lose the spark without realizing it. They think if they just keep being stable, reliable, and good, that's all it takes to keep someone attracted. And yes, being consistent matters. But when you become too predictable, when they can guess your every move, when there are no surprises left, you become safe, but you stop being exciting. Think of fire. Why do we stare at it for hours? Because it dances, it flickers, it changes. You never quite know where the next spark will fly. But most people become like a lamp, steady, boring, always the same. Useful? Sure. Memorable? Not at all. Here's the truth. People want to feel alive with you. They want moments that make them laugh unexpectedly, moments that challenge them, moments that pull them out of their routine. If they can predict exactly how you'll react, exactly what you'll say, and exactly what you'll do, you stop being someone they crave and start being someone they tolerate. Most folks become too safe. They never tease, never flirt playfully, never surprise. They get stuck in the same conversations, the same energy, the same mood every day. And slowly that spark dies, not because they're a bad person, but because they forgot that attraction thrives on emotional shifts. Look at every great story, every movie, every song that moves you. They all have highs and lows, moments of tension and release, moments of laughter and moments of depth. Relationships need the same rhythm. If you're always light, you feel shallow. If you're always serious, you feel heavy. But when you bring both, when you can be the one who makes them laugh one moment, challenges them the next, and comforts them after, you become unforgettable. Emotional variety doesn't mean being fake. It means being multidimensional. It means you're not just one note. You're not just the nice guy. You're not just the serious guy. You're not just the funny guy. You're all of it, because real men aren't one-dimensional. Here's the lie you've been told. If I just keep being dependable, they'll stay forever. Dependability is great, but it's not what makes someone crave you. The people who become addictive are the ones who can't be fully figured out. The ones who bring light and dark energy. The ones who can be warm, fun, and teasing, but who can also be calm, grounded, and intense when needed. Think of a great song. It's not just one note repeated endlessly. It has rises, falls, beats that surprise you. That's what keeps you listening. You need to be that in your relationships, a melody, not a monotone. When you bring emotional variety, you pull them in without forcing it. You challenge them playfully. You make them wonder what side of you they'll see next. Not because you're inconsistent, but because you're real. And when you do this right, you stop being the safe guy they get used to and become the person they can't stop thinking about, because every time they're with you, they feel something different, something alive. So here's your affirmation. I bring depth, unpredictability, and passion. Write it in the comments right now. Show yourself, show the world that you refuse to be the boring, predictable version of yourself. And stay with me, because next, we're going to talk about one of the most magnetic traits you can develop, staying mysterious while still being emotionally available. That's the perfect balance that keeps them hooked. Number 7, stay mysterious. Never give all of yourself away. People don't crave what they fully understand. They crave what they're still trying to figure out. My friends, this is one of the most overlooked parts of attraction. Most people think that the way to make someone love them is to give everything, every thought, every story, every detail, right away. They believe that the more open they are, the more the other person will feel close to them. But the opposite is true. When you give away every part of yourself too soon, you remove the very thing that makes people curious about you. Think about it. Why do we look up at the night sky in awe? Because we don't fully understand it. Because it feels infinite, mysterious, full of wonder. But if someone handed you a map explaining every single star, every single galaxy, every single detail, that magic would disappear. The unknown is what keeps people fascinated. It's the same with you. If you lay out your entire identity on a silver platter, there's nothing left for them to discover. And the moment someone feels like they completely have you, they stop craving you. Here's the truth no one tells you. Mystery is magnetic. It makes people lean in. It makes them ask questions. It keeps them guessing in the best way. But most people throw that away because they're afraid. They fear that if they don't constantly talk about themselves, if they don't share everything immediately, they'll lose interest. But let me ask you, do you ever feel excited to watch a movie when you already know the entire plot and the ending? Of course not. Part of the excitement is in discovering what happens next. Relationships are no different. Staying mysterious doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means you reveal yourself slowly, with intention. You let them earn the right to see deeper sides of you. You don't just spill every thought for validation. You make them curious about your mind, your goals, your world, because you're not trying to prove yourself to anyone. Here's the lie you've been told. The more I give them, the more they'll trust me. But oversharing too soon is a form of insecurity. It says, please see me, please like me, please choose me. Real power is quiet. Real power knows that not everyone deserves full access to you. When you stay mysterious, you create space for them to invest in you. You give them reasons to wonder. You become someone they think about when you're not around, because they know there are still layers they haven't seen yet. Think of the most captivating people you've met. They didn't try to impress you with endless stories. They carried themselves with a calm confidence, revealing parts of themselves little by little. That's what made you curious about them. And here's the beautiful thing. Mystery makes connection stronger, not weaker, because when you do open up, it feels intentional. It feels meaningful. It makes them realize they're seeing a side of you that not everyone gets to see. You need to understand this. When you give away everything too soon, you're not bonding, you're bleeding value. Keep some parts of your world to yourself. Let your actions, your confidence, and your presence speak louder than your words. So here's your affirmation. I reveal myself slowly, with power and intention. Write it in the comments, my friends. Show yourself, show the world that you know your value and that not everyone gets full access to you. And stay with me, because next we're going to bring everything full circle. We'll talk about why being real, not perfect, not safe, is what truly makes someone respect, love, and crave you forever. Number 8, be real, not safe. Own both your light and dark. The deepest respect isn't given to the perfect man, it's given to the man who is unapologetically real. My friends, let's end with the hardest truth of all. You can't nice guy your way into someone's heart. You can't pretend to be flawless and expect to be loved deeply. And you can't build real connection by always playing it safe, walking on eggshells and avoiding anything that might make them uncomfortable. Real love is built on depth. And depth comes when you stop hiding parts of yourself, when you stop trying to be the version of you that you think they want, when you own every part of yourself, your strengths, your flaws, your fears, and your power. Think of a painting. If it was just one color, perfectly even, it wouldn't move you. What makes it powerful are the contrasts, the shadows, the highlights, the layers. That's exactly how people work. If you're always just the nice guy, always agreeable, always afraid to stand out, you become one-dimensional. They don't respect that. They might like you, but they won't crave you. Owning both your light and dark sides means you stop apologizing for being human. You can be kind and compassionate while also being assertive and unafraid to say no. You can be playful and teasing while also being grounded and serious when it matters. You don't hide the parts of yourself that make you real. Here's the lie you've been told. If I show them my flaws, they won't love me. But the truth is, if you always try to be perfect, they'll never really know you. And if they don't truly know you, they can't truly respect you. When you stop playing safe, you become magnetic. Because deep down, people want someone they can trust to lead, someone who isn't afraid of being real. They want to feel like they're with a man who chooses them, not because he needs them to feel whole, but because he already knows his worth and invites them into his world. It won't be easy. Being real means some people won't like it. It means you'll face rejection from those who only wanted the version of you that they could control. But trust me, when you stand on who you are, when you stop begging to be chosen, when you own every part of yourself, you become unforgettable to the right person. Because respect isn't given to the man who sacrifices himself to please everyone. It's given to the man who can look someone in the eye and say, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." And that kind of confidence, that's what pulls people closer than any act of perfection ever could. So here's your affirmation to finish strong. I am real. I own every side of me, and they respect that. Write it down in the comments, my friends. Prove to yourself that you are done hiding, done shrinking, done begging for validation. And if this message hit you today, press that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the moment you stop playing safe, the moment you hold frame and choose to be unapologetically real, you stop being just another option. You become the one they respect, the one they crave, and the one they'll never forget. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, be that man.